Top 10 scariest moments in Resident Evil.
Hello and welcome back to Gaming Rebooted and our first top 10 list. So to start us off, it's time to go back to my roots with a video game franchise I've been playing since way back in 1996 when I was only 3 years old, sat in my oldest brother's bedroom watching him play Resident Evil 1 and waking up in the middle of the night screaming. So what better way to come full circle and talk about my top 10 scariest moments from Resident Evil? Now it's important to remember these are my personal moments that have stuck with me through the years, so if you have any moments you find scarier, let me know in the comments and we can reminisce about how badly they made us hide under the covers and piss our pants up your fear.
You fucking fuck me, wow. I haven't fucking ever jumped so much in my life. Holy shit, wow, fuck me.
Number 10.
But that's enough bullshit from me. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Resident Evil 4's LAGO Easter egg. Resident Evil 4 is a landmark in gaming history, an entry that changed the whole series forever. Loved for its faster paced action, amazing story, and awesome Easter eggs, there's always something terrifying waiting around the corner. No more for me than the LAGO Easter egg. During your playthrough you will come across a huge lake where you can see the villagers disposing of bodies by dumping them into the lake itself, giving us a hint that maybe something is lurking deep in the waters. Should players venture to the lake and decide to waste a few rounds into the water for no apparent reason whatsoever, then we are treated to this amazing jump scare, with LAGO leaping from the water and swallowing Leon whole, like your mother on a Friday night.
Number 9.
Speaking of your mother on a Friday night, let's talk about possibly the most iconic scene in all of gaming history. The first time we actually see a zombie in the Resident Evil franchise, on his knees with a mouthful of flesh, slowly turning his head towards you, looking you directly in the eyes before standing straight up and chasing you out of the corridor like a little girl. Straight into the big strong arms of Daddy Barry Burton. What better introduction to zombies could there be? The eerie silence, the psychotic stare from those dead lifeless eyes, the feeling of pure dread and fear filling your body. There's a reason this scene goes down in history and sticks in our minds 25 years later.
Number 8.
Let me start off this entry by saying fuck this scene. Throughout Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, we are lured into a false sense of security, knowing that opening a door meant a loading screen, a moment of peace between the horrors. As the door creaks open, we step inside and the door thuds behind us. But Resident Evil 2 decides to go full expectation inversion on us. And as the door opens, just as we are about to step through, we are quickly greeted with two zombies coming rushing through the door, surprise attacking us as we take a moment to itch our bumps between loading screens, teaching us that in Resident Evil games, there's never a time for rest and we should always be on our guard.
Number 7.
Moving on to number 7, we have Lisa Trevor sly attacking us and knocking our asses out cold in the Resident Evil remake. The thing that made this such a scary moment for me was, even as someone who has finished the original game multiple times, we never expected this. Not only Lisa, but the whole cabin area was a brand new section, exclusively made for the remake. Returning players had no idea what to expect. We certainly didn't expect such a sneak attack, or at the very least, this horrifying, unkillable monster stalking us around, and then when we least expect it, she hits us with a cheap shot out of nowhere, putting Jill on her back with one clean hit to the dome.
Number 6.
Up at number 6 is the first Regenator from Resident Evil 4. Not the most terrifying moment, but the noise alone cements his spot on this list. Sounds like a creepy uncle at a wedding. And let's not forget the first time that we do encounter this creep, we have no idea what we are up against. No matter how much we blow its limbs clean off, the creepy stalker just seems to keep on coming. It's only until we use the thermal scope on it that we see that it's got its weak spots, and we can finally put this heavy breathing nightmare on the eardrums to rest.
Number 5.
Taking the halfway spot on the list, we have a moment I feel is very forgotten about. We have the giant crocodile boss from Resident Evil 2. Much like the first entry on today's list, we are shown exactly why it's a bad idea and we should move far away from water when randomly shooting at it. This time around though, it's Ada Wong's turn to waste the ammo, but sadly it's still Leon who nearly gets bitten in two. I still have brown stains in my underwear from the first time I experienced this jump scare, and unlike Del Lago, this isn't an Easter egg that we have to go looking for, but it's a part of the main storyline, so first time players had no idea this was about to happen. At least with Del Lago, we had ourselves to blame for that one.
Number 4.
Resident Evil 4 taking another spot on this list, this time at number 4 itself. The third entry from the PS2 classic comes in form of the infamous man-in-oven. So you're wandering around looking for valuable loot and ammo when all of a sudden, boom, a nearby oven explodes and out comes poor old man bursting into flames, probably begging for the sweet release of Leon's bullets to the skull, or if anything like me, 20 bullets to the skull while screaming for your mum because the man in the oven made you jump higher than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
Number 3.
Now time for the top 3, and taking the bronze spot is this moment from Resident Evil 2, when once again we are peacefully looking for loot in an interrogation room. We believe it's completely safe, then all of a sudden my wife's street pet comes crashing through the glass, whipping its mile-long tongue around and pouncing at us ready to take our sweet beautiful heads clean off. What makes this one so scary for me was the sense of safety I thought I had. Resident Evil usually teaches us if there's no enemies in the room, then we are relatively safe, but Resident Evil 2 once again stomps all over our comfort blanket and screams at us to man up.
Number 2.
Taking the number 2 spot isn't so much of a moment exactly as just a nemesis in whole. It's impossible for me to pick an exact moment when it comes to old BDSM court, because he seems to always be popping up in the most surprising locations, whether that be breaking down a wall, kicking his way through a door, crashing through a window as you walk past, or just simply sprinting at you from off screen like Usain Bolt when his chicken nuggets are about to burn. It does feel slightly cheating for me to put the enemy here as a whole rather than a single moment, but fuck it, he deserves it. No matter if it's the 1999 original or the 2020 remake, Morpheus wannabe keeps us begging for mercy throughout the entire game.
And finally, number 1.
And finally, in the number 1 spot, my all-time scariest moment in Resident Evil history. The one true moment that gave me nightmares and made all of us jump and scream like a teen girl at a Harry Styles concert comes from the original classic, just mere moments after that iconic first zombie head turn as we start exploring this huge mansion. We enter an ominous corridor, and when we are halfway through the corridor, oh my god, fuck this franchise. Every time I think I'm safe, it goes and proves me wrong. And what Resident Evil does best is that it doesn't overuse the same jump scares over and over again in the same game. We might get a variant of a particular jump scare in the game further down the line, but it's always so far spread we forget about the first time it happened to us, like the giant croc from Resident Evil 2 and Del Lago from 4. By the time we played 4, we almost forgot about the croc from 2. It keeps the scares fresh, and because there's so many horrific moments in Resident Evil franchise and a lot of games in the series I didn't even mention, let me know down in the comments what your scariest moment is, or even the scariest game that you've played. Well, I've been James from Gaming Rebooted, and this has been my top 10 scariest Resident Evil moments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.